Hey.
We're live. How's it going?
We're live 3 times now.
Nice. This is what actually counts. This one that matters.
Yeah.
Good evening, Thomas. How are you
Happy
doing?
Thursday. I'm good. We're at the tail end of a cold snap here in North Texas. My goodness, it's been freezing. Real feel. Last couple mornings, 15 below zero.
We got our first ice storm in North Carolina. I mean, North Carolina's had a lot of ice storms before us, but this is our first. And so our kids went out sledding on it, and they I mean, it looks like snow because it snowed first and then ice over the top, but it's just like an ice rink. Everything's like whoosh, everyone's falling, getting hurt, but they're still enjoying it. It's still better than being in the house.
Yes, absolutely.
They're happy.
We found a way to get out of the house. The hot water heater froze. It's tankless, but the brilliant home builder mounted it on the exterior wall of the house. So I was out there with a heat gun, thawing that out in the cold, and then
so a little bit on the pipes, and then a little bit on you, and then a little on the pipes, a little on you.
Exactly. Yep. And then was it night before last? My wife came home in the truck and had a nice giant screw in it. And it went flat like immediately within like 10 minutes. It was drained. So I was out there trying to plug the truck tire in the cold. And
there's a flat tire, and then there's what you had, and it was really it's the worst one.
It was flat. It was donezo. And I have a little plug kit. I've plugged our tires. I've helped a neighbor plug his tire, and we've done that. But our truck has a pretty meaty tire on it. It's like 10 ply, and I just couldn't get the plug in the thing. So I had to call for help. But
call for backup.
There's a new company here in town. They're amazing. They're a mobile tire shop. It's got a trailer with all the machines and all the stuff. I told him the tire we had. He got it the next day. He put it on the wheel, balanced it on his machine, and then mounted it right on the truck. It was phenomenal. It saved our bacon.
I love that idea as a business, the mobile. It used to be you always had to take the car somewhere to get it serviced, to get a rock chip replaced. Now the people can come, you can say, hey, I drove to work, got a rock chip. I'm at lunch. Car's out there in the parking lot, and it's taken care of. You get out from, work at the end of the day, and car's fixed.
Safe Light
Brilliant
Repair.
idea.
Safe Light Replace.
Yes, not a sponsor. Good stuff. And those guys, they got a lot of hustle. I realize it does cost a little more. There's a little more expense to traveling around, but probably less than. I'm knocking things over here. I've got a prop. You can't see it because it's green. Okay, the top part is green right here. I'm holding right there. It's invisible.
Oh, it's an oxygen.
Yes, I've got oxygen. I was going to when we talk about your endeavor, I was going to take periodic drags on this.
I have some right over there in our little ski Tupperware that has our ski outfits and oxygen and our helmets and all that good stuff. I live and die by that stuff when we're up there. Even when we're goofing around in the Airbnb and just hanging out, I'm just oxygen, please.
This is what it looks like in real life. I mean, without the green screen, because clearly it's the same color as my green screen. So this stuff, I never know if I've been cheated or not, because you buy it and there's like shrink wrap around the top. And you're like, I think it's full, but oxygen has like no perceptible weight to it. So a full can with 10 liters of oxygen in here weighs the exact same amount as an empty can.
As the empty can.
There's no measurement on the side. It's like, it looks like I got about 300 more breaths in here. So you just have to take their word for it. And of course they charge an arm. And I remember when these first came out, this was cheaper than a can of paint. When it first came out, you get it for like $3, and now you're spending 20, depending on the store. It's like,
it's insane.
It's nuts. Great. It's air. There should be plenty of that going around, right? It's not like it's a limited edition. Oxygen. Get it while it's hot.
Indeed. We've got the perfect segue ever in the history of the show of what, 2.5 years?
Oh, I want to say this. Celebrate this, guys. Write this in your journal. Which one are we going to?
Jan. No, right here. We need a dad joke to lighten up our day. I don't have one verbal, but I've got one visual that y'all can see. I did this for the show. Ready?
For those that are listening just on earbuds, Thomas has a shirt with a mushroom on it that says, "I'm a super fun guy." Yes.
It was on clearance at Wal-Mart. So I saw it and went, That's a podcast shirt all day long.
And we finally, I was worried today we were not going to get our Walmart reference, and we just did.
Oh, bingo. We got it. Oh, I have to say, the people at Walmart, they're brilliant, right? Because so this, among many other cheesy shirts, Walmart.
The Wal-Mart.
There it is.
Was on the clearance rack, not in the apparel section.
The Wal-Mart.
There it is.
It's on the clearance rack. It's in front of small pet cat in the dog aisle, because anyone that loves animals is just total sucker for stuff. So I'm walking by. I literally was getting cat food, and I look over this rack of $3 t-shirts, and this was front and center in my size, and I'm like,
True.
got it, got me. They got me. So
They've figured out, they've got the algorithm for how people think in Walmart, where they place stuff. Because I walk in there and I'm like, I'm here to get ice cream. And on the way, it's like, okay, and there are the batteries. I need some of those. And by the time I've left, I'm like, get me another cart, and it's and I never got to the ice cream. But they've intercepted my brain waves, and the next thing in line, or the next thing on the aisle, or right around the corner on the end cap, is like, oh, clearly I need that. And it just builds on itself. It's like, well, now that I've got the chips, I probably should go get some salsa, and head down to the salsa. Like, man, that queso looks delicious. I'll get salsa and the queso. Speaking of queso, I need some more milk. Yeah.
Yes.
Armloads later. And then they have the audacity that if you're lucky enough to actually get a checker, they're like, hey, did you find everything you need? And you're like, that reminds me, I came for ice cream. Hang on 1 second.
I always respond with that and more, and then they always laugh. I went into what was it the other day? Our daughter was a little bummed on Valentine's Day because she didn't have Valentine, right?
Oh.
And so she's on this Hello Kitty kick right now. So I went to TJ Maxx that we've gotten here in town. They always have a Hello Kitty something, but not always. So I figured I'd find some, I don't know, little pottery or anything, but Buck.
Troy, thanks for that one.
Troy, every time I leave for piano lessons, I look at my wife and I go, I'll be Buck. And she's so over it. So
the first time was probably a little much.
Yeah. So chat doesn't have to suffer through the dad jokes alone. My wife on a daily also suffers through them. But
I like to think that you practice every one with her.
No.
Just to see if it lands.
No, I try to be one and done when I can. But
you don't pull Collins from Pride and Prejudice and give them you study them in the mirror, but try to give them as off the cuff. Never mind. As Pride and Prejudice reference is probably not going to be relevant in this.
So it fits. It's perfect. It's not relevant. But so I walk into TJ Maxx, and I'm in the back. It's where I'm going to find, something of some Hello Kitty whatnot. And I'm not seeing anything anywhere. And finally, I find a last little bit. It's like a little coffee mug with a little porcelain statue, Hello Kitty kit, right? Yeah. And I'm like, perfect. At the end of the store, I finally found a bit. So grab it. This is in reference to you talking about I got to get the milk and then 50,000 other items, right? I have no basket, nothing, because I'm not worried about it. And then as I meander through the store on my way up, it's just screaming at me. There's Hello Kitty stuff everywhere. And she's pretty big into doing makeup stuff now since she's getting older. Well, there's like this Hello Kitty makeup brush kit. So I'm like, oh, slam dunk. So anyways, long story short, I'm in the checkout line like this.
Yeah. You've got all the Hello Kitty items that the Walmart carries.
Everything I could find. Yeah. At TJ Maxx. And certain things are falling off the top, and the lady and her daughter in front of me helped me, I don't know, half a dozen times. They picked it up off the floor. One of them fell down and went under one of the shelving units, and they're like crawling around, picking it up and stacking it back on top of my big giant stack. And my arms are tired. But anyway, that was the tie into you going to the store as well, and remembering a million items you needed and no cart or basket. But I finally made it out. And she had a good Valentine's. What's cool, this just melted my wife and I's heart, is I also got her some roses. So I put the roses center on the counter.
I might say too soon, but go ahead. If we've had a rough trial this week.
I kept them all in one piece. Yes. And then I surrounded all her little Hello Kitty tidbits all around it. And so in the morning, she came out and, said, "Hey, happy Valentine's Day, kiddo. Love you." And she got this big smirk on her face, and she grabbed, it was one of those flower kits that comes like in the vase already, and it's already prepped and she looked at everything all excited and grabbed the flowers and was like, "Thank you so much. I love you guys," and went to her room. She was so elated over the flowers more than
Yeah.
all the little toys and the stuff.
Yeah.
And so we were like, "Oh." So I told my wife that like every couple weeks I'll get her a new batch of flowers that she can have fresh in her room. So we got a new fresh bouquet this morning of some daisies and some other stuff mixed up, and she was all excited. So turned out good.
Judge Boyd has rubbed off on you.
Very much so.
Fresh
Yes.
flowers. I mean, we sing happy birthday. Judge Boyd gets fresh flowers. So
Yep.
that's awesome. They're amazing. It's a great start to the day. Going back before we deviate from something we were not supposed to talk about, which is shopping at Walmart. I have a confession. When I go, and this only happens on a super Walmart. Okay. If your neighborhood Walmart does not apply, and they're just like the mini Walmarts, but at a super Walmart, for some reason, I have to walk down the auto parts aisle.
Always. It's a must.
I don't think I've ever bought anything on that aisle. I'm not a car repair guy. Okay. I'm not the guy I don't bling out my cars. I'm more of the type that I bought it.
Walmart.
I bought it. It's still exactly the way it was when I bought it. And I'm going to drive it until I can't drive it anymore. And then I'm going to buy a new one or another used one. I'm not the fix the car guy. I'm not the guy who's like, "Hey, I need some more windshield wiper fluid." That's not me. But I walk down there. I don't know what it is. I was hoping somebody could explain. Is this some sort of deep-seated, regressive action on my part that stems from childhood and not fixing cars enough? I don't know. But
there's always an auto gimmick. Always something. A new tire shine, a new car shampoo, a new trash bag holding accessory when you've got
flashlights. It just connected. They sell flashlights.
Yeah.
I think they're like for like wearing on your head while you're fixing the car. It's the flashlights I want to see. What new flashlight technology has come out?
I've got 2 of them. They're awesome.
Man.
Headlamps.
Do you get the magnet ones that you can like stick to the car or your children if they have them in
I've got the magnet one that you stick to the hood or to the rod in my shoulder. Yes. That's bendable. And then, but no, the headlamp, man, I have 2 or 3 of those because they work for so many things around the house outside of vehicles. When it's dark out and I have to go do something, I'll run to the garage, throw the headlamp on, and it's just amazing. I mean, hands free, right? And I don't have a son, so I can't be like, "Son, hold my flashlight." I can't.
Aziz, light. Yeah,
exactly.
The only problem with the headband ones is they're like a sucker for bugs, and it's like you get like a swarm right in front of the face, and then where you look, the swarm moves and follows you around.
Yeah,
but they're great in the wintertime. So
they are phenomenal.
Great, good for ice fishing and things like that.
Yep, ice fishing dates, phenomenal. So I was sending you just a total T-ball talking about the flowers and plants.
And you want me to talk about my trees? Is that it?
So we could dive into the FU trees, which I think we might have some newbies watching.
Yeah, I have to give a very, very quick. I'm not even sure if I have the picture ready to pull up.
Of the
look, here's I have a problem with authority. I'll be the first to admit this. Okay, not like police authority. I recognize legal authority. It's the people that have the power trip and they think they have authority when really they don't. I ran into this at my last house. I had 2 trees, fruit trees. There was a pear and a I think it was a pear and a peach tree. That were in my what we call the park strip. So there's a sidewalk, there's a little bit of grass, and then there's a curb next to the road. It was in there, and they're little dwarf trees. They're not supposed to grow very big. I let them grow a little bit bigger than they should have, and so it did sort of grow over the road a tiny bit and over the sidewalk a little bit. And some fruit that was infested with all the bugs that land on fruit when you don't spray them had fallen to the ground, and somebody was upset about this. Okay. Yeah, I can clean it up. It's not a problem. But instead of saying, "Hey, clean up the peach that fell on the sidewalk or that fell on the road or something," they go straight to code enforcement, and they call my city and they say, send an officer out. We've got a violation. Or we've got a violation. They give my address, and sure enough, the officer comes out, and I've got like this a page long sheet where like all the possible violations exist in microfine print, and he's checked the one that applies. And apparently, there's one that if your park strip fruit trees have dropped fruit on the ground, you haven't cleaned it up within a timely period, or something like that. It's ridiculous. And
Big rap
also,
sheet.
he checks the one that says, and your trees have overgrown the lines. They have to be within the sidewalk to the curb area. They kept, you've got that narrow column where the trees have to exist. I'm like, that's pretty restrictive, right? These are trees. They're not blocking the sidewalk. But it was a fix-it ticket. It was like must comply or else. And so I stewed on this a little bit. At first I was frustrated. It's like, why didn't someone just tell me and say, hey, I'm trying to, ride my bike down the sidewalk and your trees get in the way. I'm like, hey, I'll fix it. Sorry, my bad. I didn't realize, I don't do that right there. So, thanks for telling me. I'll get it resolved. No, they don't. They go and run this way. So I know I have to comply, first of all, because I can't. I worked for the government and I had a top secret clearance. And I knew if I end up just getting in a fight with the neighbor of the court, I have to report that to my agency, and they're going to see if it's blackmailable material, and I might lose my clearance. It's a serious thing every time there's a problem.
Right.
And, so this is the short version, right? Sorry, am I supposed to condense this down? It seems too soon. I'm still upset about this.
So you trimmed the trees.
I did. I trimmed the trees, and I trimmed them so they complied fully with the rule. And I read the rule very carefully. They didn't go over the sidewalk. They didn't go over the road. I cleaned up the little couple peaches that fell on the sidewalk or something. And I trimmed them in such a way that if you were out on the road, standing in front of my house, looking at the house, the peach tree on the left looked like the letter F, and the pear tree on the right looked like the letter U. And so I called them my FU trees. And then they came by, and the guy drove up, and he parked and he looked from the angle. It was okay. And he's like, oh, it's complied, waves the ticket. It's all gone. And I left him like that. I actually sold the house with the trees in the shape of an FU. And so I don't know what neighbor needed to see that. But just anyway, that's how I handle problems in my neighborhood.
So there's another gentleman who feels the exact same way as you do. He has a problem with authority, not the law, but those that think they have power that really don't. And I don't know if you've got it ready, but they in where this gentleman is, they get a lot of snow. In their HOA banned gas snow blowers because of the noise. And they couldn't believe it because how productive they can be and how much snow they get. They're simply just more powerful.
I'm ready when you are.
So this gentleman found the solution as to how to deal with the banning of gas snow blowers, and it is amazing.
When your HOA bans gas snow blowers.
Power on. Power for primary. On. Secondary sync. Primary transmitting.
I love this guy. He is my hero.
He's awesome.
My hero. I don't know where I went, but
I saw that and went, oh my gosh, FU Trees Part 2. This is amazing.
he literally plays the noise just to irritate people. And he has my respect. That is just,
there's a portion of his neighbors that absolutely love what he does because they disagree with that rule as well. And so they just couldn't support it anymore.
Yeah, that video has like 35,000 likes and shares. There's a lot of people like, yeah, man, stick it to him.
75,000 likes.
It's gone up a ton.
That's so cool.
That is amazing. More power to you. I think that was Dad Bod Lawn or something. That the channel, the Dad Bod Lawn, who shared that, and that just spoke to our souls. Thank you, the Dad Bod Lawn, for producing that amazing content.
It did. I saw it yesterday. It went the winter version of RA. It's going on the show.
Oh yeah,
it's perfect.
That is awesome. Winter is here, man. We started talking about that, but it is cold. I'm worried that tonight that our pipes are going to freeze.
That's always the big fear and such a mess. It's especially with an older home because the insulation isn't quite there. Their older pipe, it's not.
The
It's not
repairs are
all that
not
flex
finished.
pipe.
I still have a
there's
huge hole in my floor.
there's exposed walls.
There's exposed dirt in my house. Yeah, it's I don't know. I think we'll just leave the heater on all night, and I mean just rack up the bill. But I'm nervous, that someone's gonna go and then spray all night long, and then I'll have an ice castle under my house that will take a year to melt.
So there was you said ice castle.
Mhm.
There was an irrigation leak. Well, something that broke. I forget what town in Texas. I follow Texas Storm Chasers on Facebook. Reels, and they posted it. But something happened last night, I believe. Broke, so it's just spewing water. Like think of when someone runs over a fire hydrant, right? It's similar effect. And so power lines, everything adjacent to it with the freezing temperature, there was just like this massive thing of ice wall hanging on to everything. I mean, the picture looked kind of pretty, but what a disaster it was for it to happen. So just make sure the guys don't check the PSI in your sewer system while it's freezing out and stuff. If you get any backflow.
Is there anyone out there who is connected to the sewer repair guys? Because I still can't see a valid reason to hook up a high pressure tank to an existing sewer line in town surrounded by homes and just send a blast of air backwards up the tube to see what happens.
To see what neighbors come out their house looking around.
Me. I was that neighbor. My kids, they were giggling and thought it was hilarious. Like, there's a volcano in the bathroom. I'm like, ah! The new one, right? The one I had just barely finished remodeling. With enough pressure. Luckily, everything was flushed. It was all clean water. Not that you want to drink it or anything, but it was not. Anyway, it was high enough that it went to the ceiling in my bathroom. And the guy's like, "Oh, we set it to low." So you have like higher settings. What are they for? I mean, what legitimate reason would be like, hey, let's try about 500 psi and go ahead and fire, see what happens. The jet trucks shouldn't be. Ben, I need to call. I happen to know your husband, Ben. I should call. Ben's husband. We need to talk. Why do they have pressure on those things anyway? Shouldn't they always just be a sucker? Right? Is there any purpose to do anything other than just, if you need to connect to the sewer line, I want you to take stuff out instead of put stuff in mass.
I don't know. This is on topic, but different scenario. Your bathroom just being flooded, just inundated with water, reminds me of something. Does anyone in chat have a late teen daughter that if they happen to shower in your bathroom, when they're done, the bathroom floor is just inundated with water? Like don't use the 10 towels hanging there and dry. Just leave the shower on. Do you spray the shower on the floor? It's not just like, what is that? I've seen some memes online every once in a while, so I know I'm not the only one. But why? It's
not just late teen.
Oh, I'm getting sir, we have long hair. We've got towel wraps for her and my wife. I'm getting yes, and hair. Yes, I have two teens like
the hair.
Okay.
Is it just the ability for it to hold massive, like copious amounts of water? Is that
wrap it up? We have a million towels, plus we have the little towel hair wraps that it's just okay. I've found my support group. I really appreciate this. Yes, minor preteens. Okay. Oh, we've got a 12-year-old son who does this. Okay. So it's kids apparently don't understand that when I'm done in here and dad walks in with just socks, he's furious because now my socks are soaking wet.
Don't get me started. I think I'm the only person in my family who understands how a toothpaste cap works. Like this is not rocket science, right? This is not something that I've gone to years of schooling to understand. It's simple: twist on, twist off. You repeat the process, whatever it is. If it's on, you twist it off, you use it, you twist it back on, and there are no problems. Of course, you always squeeze from the back of the tube as well, but everyone knows that. I think my family can go through a tube of toothpaste a week. And I'm not talking the little tubes like the travel stuff. I'm talking the big tube. And it's like half a gallon, right? If you actually squeeze it out, because we've had kids that do that as well. It takes about half a gallon of space in your sink when you squeeze the whole tube out.
Yeah.
And then it just clogs the drain.
Scent Bunny.
I've just decided not to fight this one. I'll take the loss on this one because I know I'm outnumbered in my current household. But
Samantha Terry coming clean here.
Samantha. Samantha, how could you? Oh man. That's
we could do a whole show on bathroom oddities or pet peeves of things and whatnot.
I think we've done that show already. We've spent a lot of time when we talked about the I can't remember the word. I should know this one. I want to say duvet, but that's blanket.
Duvet.
Bidet. See?
Bidet. Yeah. Jeez, you got me going on there. I said duvet.
I still need to install a bidet in the bathroom that we've remodeled. I have not done yet, especially now that I know that it's already become a volcano one time. Installing one intentionally, I'm hesitant. I'm hesitant to say, okay, that time was you. This time it's on me. I'm sorry.
What's the PSA on that model, or PSI on that model? I want to make sure it's low.
I'm nervous about that. I know when we installed our kitchen.
Shame on you, sir.
when I installed when we had our kitchen stove put in, it's a gas stove, and I know they had to do like special adapters on the PSI so the gas was just right. Yep. I'm worried that I might just hook up the bidet to that 3/4 inch main line,
gas line.
No, like the water line, but we've got 3/4 inch of pressure running to the bathroom, and you could hurt yourself at that PSI. But
it's duvet lap blanket for when you use the bidet. We butchered that so bad.
I don't know why I struggle with that word. Well, I struggle with all the words, but that one particularly, it seems easy enough to remember.
That one got me hung up because then I said debate or something.
It rubbed off on you.
Yeah. But I'm trying to convince my wife. We're actually in the beginning stages of building a home. And I said, everyone I've spoken to that finally got one or has one swears by it. I haven't met anyone that has a bidet that says, that's stupid. Go back to a standard toilet.
Maybe there's like a shame factor, and those people just don't want to admit it. And there's a huge group out there who's like, yeah, the worst decision ever. But I just can't own up because all the pro people will just roast me alive. I don't know. No, I've heard the same thing. Nobody has ever told me that these toilet volcanoes, whatever you want to call them, bidet is a bad deal. So yep, this is indeed.
You're taking the ducks with you when you move. I literally told Scott pre-show, we were talking about something not relevant, obviously. And I said, it's going to be hilarious when we sell our current house. And the very first evening, the new owners move in. And at 4:30 to 4:45, when 40 to 60 ducks land in their front yard, they're going to be like, what's going on?
Not just land, but are demanding and like running up to the owner and being like, quack, 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 quack.
Yeah.
Feed us now.
They're
like,
loud.
What is this? It's like a Stephen King movie, but the pond version.
Yes, absolutely. The good news is, SF of Texas, we are actually going to be building our house one block behind us, which is closer to said pond. We're by the pond. So I'm hoping as soon as we get there, I can throw out some of the feed that I get up, and they'll be like, hey, there's our people.
Maybe you could divert the ducks before they do their dastardly deed at the old destination.
Yeah, but
I don't know why that alliteration just came to me, but
I'd have to forfeit getting to see him all year. So. But my dad laughed. He goes, oh, great. They're going to get even fatter than they are now because they don't even have to fly to you. They can walk to you. So I was like, no, I didn't think about that. So I have to get diet.
They will no longer leave for the winter season. It's like, yeah, we're here. We're here for the long haul.
We had some in our pool this year in the summer. My wife called me. I was out front washing the car, and she was in the back hanging out at the pool. And she's calling me. And I'm like, well, that's why are you calling me? Maybe she needs something from the house. And doesn't want to track water all over the floor. I don't know. And she goes, "You need to come to the backyard now. There's a problem." And I'm like, "Uh-oh." So I'm assuming, um, pool pump leak, or I don't know what's going on. So I go back there, and there's two ducks going whack, whack, whack.
Pair of mallards in the deep end.
Swimming around in the pool. They're hanging out. And I went, "I love this." And she goes, "No."
So help me if you throw them some bread.
Yeah, they're messy. So that was
Wow.
a big no, and shoo them out. But
Yeah,
but no, they're still around.
that's cool.
So
So you don't think it's been a mistake to feed them? I mean, wouldn't it have been better to like go to the pond, leave the food there, or
well, that's a great question. I don't know, because before I started feeding him, I noticed a couple other neighbors on our street were feeding him. They'd leave a little pile out on the driveway for him, and they'd come by and eat. And so I went, "Oh, cool, I want to do that too." But apparently I fed them a little bit extra because they aborted everyone else's house. And instead of like the 5 to 10 that were showing up with neighbors down the road, like I said, we have 60 ducks or so that will show up. But I don't know. They're Roy says, "Not if you're able to move away." So
Roy in the neighborhood? He's like, "Yeah, they pass my house every day."
I would say if they were, I mean, this is gonna sound weird. If they were wild ducks, I know they're not pet ducks, but they live in a neighborhood pond, right? So I'm sure they scavenge and get stuff from other homes around. They're not just solely relying on the wild, and now I've overindulged them and completely spoiled. They are spoiled to a degree. Um, if I had a mountain house and I was out I wouldn't be feeding those animals, because it's going to change their whole system, the whole way they work, and the way they forage for natural foods. That I wouldn't do. But
It's funny you should mention that, because growing up, I lived out west in the mountainous area, and there was a winter where it was a really hard winter. We had a lot of snow, like 18 inches, 2 feet of snow on the ground, and the deer herds, the mule deer that normally live up in the foothills and sort of right at the edge of town and then stay up in the mountains, all came down because there's just too much snow for them to dig through and get the grasses and stuff on the mountains. So they come down into the valley looking for a little snack.
right.
I think it was my mom took a pity on them, seeing that they're just trying to find something to eat. And she goes to the grocery store and she says, "Hey, can I get all your, like when you get the veggies in, you like cut off the tops and the outer wraps of the lettuce and all that greenery you throw away, the bad veggies, the ones that are bruised and stuff that you just end up throwing in the dumpster. Bring it to me and I'll take it and send it out for the ducks." And they're like, "Sure, help yourself. It's just, less we have to throw into our garbage, can and pay to get hauled off." Right. And so she would get these boxes and boxes of greens for the deer, and she'd spread them out in the front yard. And I have never seen so many deer. I mean, this is like you've seen, like the pictures from like Jackson Hole when there's like an elk herd, and it's like, for as far as I can see, it's just antlers. Okay, that's what it was in our front yard. And there's like big deer and little deer and bucks and does and little tiny ones. And it got to the point where they would come so much. I remember I was out by the mailbox one night, and the deer are like, "Well, I'm here for the food," and they just come walking in. Normally, if they see like 100 yards away, they're gone. They're like, boing, 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 they're gone. And they just come walking up, and one of the little what are the baby deer, the fawns, comes up and it's like, "Me, me." That's the noise they make, by the way. They go, "Me, me," and it like walks right up to me. I'm like, "Mama deer is going to come prance on my head if so I thought that was a bad idea, but I don't know. The neighbors thought it was even worse because, as you know, animals, when they visit, they leave their calling cards.
Right.
Some people don't like that.
I get it. But
I don't know.
They poop on our driveway. Well, a little bit on the sidewalk too. That I guess some neighbors have to walk through. But we try to power wash everything off and keep things tidy and clean, not try to be bad neighbors. Shoot, we got neighbors that let their dogs do their duty in other neighbors' front lawns.
Okay, so you're right on this. It's worse when the dogs poop than the ducks.
Yeah, and I'm power washing duck poop off the sidewalk so people walking through don't have to mess with it. But no, we love it. It's fun. There's someone in chat just said they live near a pond and they have all the ducks and they love them. They're cute. They are just, it's nothing but a smile to my face when they show up. I can't wait to run to the garage, grab the can of corn. Well, it's a bucket that I have. It's deer corn that they eat, and
You get a pallet
Out
a
there in
week
Fayetteville.
delivered to your yard.
I'm pretty upset when the corn is out of season and it's hard to get my
Oh
hands on.
man,
Because
it's awesome. I like it.
you're
I
right.
love. I've always loved feeding the birds. Birds have been something I've been interested in since I was a kid. I as a kid I held hummingbirds, on the land of my finger, and I'm fascinated with birds. So that is awesome. That is awesome. I wouldn't feed like bears or something like that, but I think ducks and deer and maybe squirrels and rabbits, those are okay.
Mhm.
Wild turkeys, I draw the line at the turkeys. They scare me as well. And
Oh.
geese. Sorry, the geese are also a no-go.
So we have geese at the pond, but they don't venture far other than they will wander into some of the lawns of the homes that are right on the lake there, but they don't come. We're a block or so over. They don't venture over this way. I mean, they'll fly overhead and all that, but they don't land and come and disturb anything. But Newbie says if you don't want geese or ducks, get a fake swan, put it in the water. It's funny you say that. Specifically geese.
Where do you get a fake swan? Hang on. Is that like something you can buy? It's like, do you have any fake swans?
You can get fake animals anywhere, especially geese poo is extremely, I believe, acidic.
Yeah.
So golf courses, when they walk around on the greens, it'll burn a hole in the green, the grass, real quick. So I know our local golf course, they have a handful of fake coyotes that they put on the edges of the pond near the greens, so the geese won't go near it. They stay away, and it's just a fake one with a little. Like you can get ones that have a little fur tail so the wind moves it, so it's even more realistic. But you put a couple of them near the golf green and the geese stay away from it. They won't go near it.
Between the 5 fake ones and the 20 real ones, I think they've got that covered down there. Isn't Texas full of coyotes? They've got a ton of them down there. But no, that's really cool. Speaking of, we talked a little bit about mistakes, but there's a mistake here that takes us to the lottery. Do you want to talk about lottery?
Love lottery. Got to do one a week, at least one. This one is probably my favorite one that we've done in a long time. This one's cool.
The clerk's mistake. This is in Virginia, just north of me. A woman scored $2 million on a lottery prize thanks to a store clerk who mistakenly gave her the wrong ticket.
Wrong numbers. Like
the clerk's like, wait, you need a refund. Let me give you the right one. I will take that back. Let's see. Kelly Lindsay said she was initially unhappy when the clerk at a raceway gave her the money blitz scratch off instead of the ticket she wanted. But she took it out to the parking lot, scratched it off, and it was the $2 million top prize. She says, quote, "And I got over not being happy about it."
Good for you, Lindsay. That's a great step to take there.
Yes, that was and after taxes, she'll get about 1.25 million, which is about 1.25 million more than she had when she pulled it. So,
and 1.25 million more than if she received the right ticket.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we don't know. What if the right ticket was a $5 million winner?
She has to go back and buy the right one now because
she should have.
Unless she'd be like, "Hey, just take $20 off that one and give me the ticket I wanted instead."
Yeah, and see what we got. I'm always curious. The way the land supposedly is whatever store you buy from, and you win, you're supposed to go in and tip the location you bought from. What percentage do you tip, and of how much? I mean, it can't be a percentage, right? If you win, say, the Powerball, right, that 850 million. Well, you can't, like, everything can't be 20%.
I think Powerball, it's already incorporated in. Like if you buy a lottery ticket that requires you to choose the numbers and you buy the little Scantron, whatever it is, the winning store gets a cut. They get a prize payout because they can track where it was done, where it was made. God. So that would be double dipping if you were to tip them again.
Okay, I'm learning something new. I don't do the lottery stuff very much, so I didn't know that they get a percentage. Everyone say no, they're taken care of.
I've never done it, but I've read the rules and the fine print, so I wanted to know what the odds really were, and they're terrible. Just for those that are curious, the odds of winning the lottery are terrible.
I've played a bunch. I've just never won, so I haven't been in this situation of the
That's
tippage.
my point exactly.
Gally May makes a great point though. State pays the business. So the business owner, but not the clerk. So maybe if it's there's a place I go to here in town where even if I don't need gas, they have 2 Gatorades for like $3.50, and I get water. I'm there almost every day. I pop in and say hi. I know for a fact the guy, he's amazing. He goes, "Good morning, boss. What's up? Hey, how are you?" He's so cordial. He's so friendly. It's amazing. He works for his son. His son lives in Dallas, and he owns multiple gas stations. So if I won the lottery from his store, his son, being the owner, is getting the money that the state pays. Well, I would like to see the guy who takes care of me every single day. I would like to see him get a little bit of something of that. So I guess that's what you would do on your own, since the owner would get some. Because I don't know if his son would give him any of the money.
Yeah, I don't think the owner is obligated to pay the clerk who sold the ticket during that shift. It just goes to the store owner.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be so worried about if it was just a random place I stopped and I was a passerby or something. But if it's from the place I go to almost every day and they're just so friendly and their customer service is great, they're going to be like, the guy won. Like they'll see it in the news. He didn't give me $5. Like, what a jerk.
Like, seriously, $5. I'm here every night from 2 a.m. to 8 a.m.
Yeah.
You would give me $5?
Give me $5.
Oh, man. Speaking of somebody who probably didn't get a tip for a delivery, down in Florida. Down in Florida, there's a truck driver who had a little accident, a little boo-boo, a little mistake, which is easy to do when you're driving a truck that's pulling a trailer with 40,000 pounds. Well, it should be 40. It had 44,000 pounds of cargo on the back, and took a corner too fast, and the thing tipped over. Well, the 44,000 pounds of cargo was beer.
Beer.
It was beer.
That's expensive cargo.
It's a lot of beer. So if you're in Florida wondering why the cooler is a little low right now, it's because it was on the side of the road. Let's see, what city was that in? Near in Ruskin, mile marker 236 in Ruskin on Interstate 75.
People are now flocking looking for an unbroken beer can.
I'm sure all the passersby are like, "Here, we can help. We can help." But you hear about these accidents all the time, and they're like crazy accidents, and they describe it. And somebody launched a car off off the freeway and landed on the roof of a house, and you're like, "Wow!" And then there's always that little line at the very end of the story, and it sort of makes me chuckle on this one, because I wonder if alcohol was a factor. It was.
He did it.
He wasn't drinking any. He was just the load shifted.
He did it
and rolled the truck. So I'm thinking alcohol was a factor.
Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, Amber, I was just actually about to mention that. I've heard there's actually been a few. I know one in Oklahoma here recently, close to us, and I think another one maybe in PA. But like hundreds of thousands of eggs on a truck, like crashed, kaboom, gone, broken, off they went. So that's egg prices might keep on keeping on.
Between that and the egg heists, the people that are stealing eggs.
Yeah.
And add to that, you watch like Sam's Club might get a whole bunch of eggs and the price is good, and people are like loading up carts. Like, no one is going to use that many eggs before they either hatch or go bad, right? It's like you have very few people, unless you're literally serving omelets for the world, are going to use 500 dozen eggs. That's a lot. That's a lot of eggs. Why would you need a pallet of eggs for anything? Or where would you put it even? Most people don't even have a fridge that can hold that.
Well, in some people's defense, they probably think the same thing when Mrs. R.A. leaves the store with milk.
We've stopped buying milk at Lidl for this reason.
What are you going to do with all that milk?
Who only buys 1 gallon, right? Why in the world would you? We buy 8 gallons of milk a week.
We are a family of 3, and I buy a half gallon every 2 weeks. Well, okay, there's a caveat, I guess. And again, she doesn't watch the show, so I can say this. But I probably buy 4 gallons of chocolate milk a week, and Mrs. Weatherwatch is the only one that drinks it.
Okay, so 4 gallons of chocolate milk. That's right. That's on schedule with what we do, because we buy the 8 gallons a week, and we buy it every Friday, and we run out on Wednesday. I'm thinking we need 10 gallons, but I'm not sure if any of the that or a cow. We might need a cow.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if any of the shopping apps allow you to get that much of a single item. There's one point where they'll just be like, look, other people also might want milk. Can you consider maybe buying less? But
you could DoorDash from multiple stores. 3 gallons here, 3 there, 3 there, 3 there.
The funny thing is, it's been worse. There was a time when my wife, who is absolutely amazing at shopping and everything else, I'm not throwing her under the bus. Jen, just come shoot me in the back with a Nerf gun if you don't want me to tell the story.
We're both in trouble right now. Amber's about to call my wife. You're telling your disclaimers to yours.
She was fantastic at couponing, which is the art of saving money while shopping, right?
Yes.
And there's like mid-level couponing and there's extreme couponing. She was mid-level. She wasn't ordering coupons on eBay to use, which, believe it or not, that's something people do. Yeah. She was just, getting the newspaper. Maybe her friend would say, oh, I had these coupons, she could use that. She wasn't
coupon clipping.
Yes, it's a lot of work. It's a ton of work. But when the deal would hit, you have to buy then. And I remember going through Walmart and I had a shopping cart I was pushing and it was like brim full of potato chips. Like, I think they were like Santilla's brand white corn tortilla chips. Yeah. And I must have had 40 bags in my shopping cart.
Those are some of the best tortilla chips.
They're so good. They're so good. The deal hit, and when the deal hits, it's ridiculously good price. Like, I kid you not, sometimes the store pays you to take the food. Like, between the sale price and the massive coupon, which sometimes stacks, sometimes they let you use 2 coupons on each, and the buy one, get one free and everything else, you end up getting paid to take food from the store. But it's not that bad now. The 8 gallons of milk, we get looks every time because you fill up the whole bottom of the cart with milk. There's like no room, and then everything else goes on top of it. So, Mrs. Ari, thanks. Please still buy 8 gallons of milk for me. I would appreciate that. I don't hear her coming down the stairs with a Nerf gun, so we're good.
We got told earlier to be careful because both of us are ended up looking at couch duty for the night sleeping, which brings me to this Brazilian couple. It's not a normal story we cover all the time, but I just think it's absolutely amazing. This Brazilian couple celebrates 84 years and 77 days of marriage. I'm not convinced I'm even going to live 84 years, let alone be married that long. That's got to be one of the most amazing long marriages ever. 84 years.
How old were they when they got married? I mean,
the Brazilian couple's wedding was in 1940. Officially, here you go, took the Guinness World Record for longest marriage for a living couple.
How old are they
now? He is 105 and she's 101. They awarded the title in Guinness World Records and Longeviquest, a website that tracks data about centenarians, super centenarians, verify that have been married about 84 years and 77 days as of Valentine's. The duo met in 1936 and they were married in 1940.
I'm guessing they didn't have marriage licenses back then. It was just like, do you? Yeah. Okay. Done.
I'm in.
That think of how much has changed. 1936. So, oh man, what was invented around that time? We've got early cars.
I can go. Oh boy. Here we
go. When was TV a thing? When did TV become a?
Well before that. My mom was born in 1950, and I know she had many inventions were created in 1940. That's when they got married, including color TV, the electron microscope, and a practical example of color television. Oh, here we go. We've got more. The color TV, aerosol spray, the Z3. What is
like
that?
The BMW Z3?
No, the computer itself. It's a computer. That's not the BMW.
It took up an entire room. It was a computer and it used punch cards, but it was invented that year.
The atomic bomb. The kidney dialysis machine.
That's huge.
Cell phones. Wow, I would have assumed. Existence in 1947, but they were starting to be worked on. Okay. Velcro. Bam.
That took a long time to come out to market.
The microwave.
1947. And me in 1995, I got a brick phone. You think that's the best they could do from 1947 to 1995 was a device this big that you can barely hear on?
The microwave, the jukebox. And that's just the tidbit from this
Oh my
article.
goodness, the jukebox! Think how revolutionary that was as a device.
Man,
And you could
holy cow!
you could push a button and on demand play the song you wanted to hear without having the band there.
That's pretty cool. The longest marriage ever lasted on record, 88 years and 349 days. So 89 years is the longest marriage on record. But this particular couple have raised 13 children and now have 55 grandchildren and 54 great grandchildren and 12 great grandchildren.
I bet they don't know all their birthdays.
Christmas is expensive.
I bet they don't know their birthdays and barely can remember their names.
There's no chance. That's insane.
If I live that long, I'll just be like, hey, kids, when you bring your families over, wear name tags or just be expected to be called hey you, because I'm not going to be able to remember these.
It reminds me of youth hockey camp when you put a little, you have to write the name on a little sticker and you just slap it on the kid's helmet. So, because you're with them for 2 weeks, but there's 30 of them. You're not going to remember. So it's just right there on their forehead.
Number 57. Hey, number 57, get over here.
And they don't know their number because it's a new camp. So you just do the name thing. But that's so cool. That's awesome. The picture of them, it's an awesome picture. They're holding hands. Big old smiles. Yeah. That's great.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Life goals right there.
For some. I want to dive into this. I put it on last minute, so I don't know if you saw it. And I'm mad we didn't do it sooner because we've done it every year prior. Okay. And I think Cachette even sent this to me like 2 months ago. And then I kind of jumped over it. But it's so fun. As many know, the state of Minnesota, every single winter, they have a snowplow naming contest. It's awesome. For all the different regions within the state, you submit names for this contest to name the snowplows, and they pick winners. It's so cool.
This is just done to take the sting off the tax burden that the people have to pay for all these new snowplows every year. It's like, well, we'll let you name it.
Camouflage for sure. Yeah. It's awesome. But some of the names are so fun. So for the 2024-25 winter names are, we're off to see the blizzard. Is that one. We've had Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah.
Plowabunga, which is another good one. This one, I don't. Anthony Sledwords.
That's got to be a play. Is that a local politician or famous person? It's got to be an Edwards. Is the last name, right? Who is Anthony Edwards?
So that one's for the Metro District, which is the Twin Cities. So maybe that's
maybe he was the nominee and he sort of put the finger on the scale. Is like, I want one named after me.
He paid for that one.
Yeah. He bought it.
Yeah. And then
You're Welcome from District 2.
They got real creative.
You're welcome.
They got creative. I like the and then District 3 is Don't Just Know. I love that one.
It gets better.
And you will know this one, right? Can you pronounce that?
No. Is it skull or school?
It should be skull. Skullplow.
Skullplow.
Yeah. And the last one,
skull being chew, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll let you end with this last one because I think it's fantastic.
I came, I saw, I conquered. I came, I thought, I conquered. Great names for plows.
I love that they do that. I would love to start something like that in North Texas, except we don't have any plows.
I'm surprised they didn't get the Plowy McPlowface, nominations. That seems every time. There's just some names that always show up because NASA did the same thing, right? When they said we're going to let you guys name a room on the International Space Station, the exercise room, right? And was it like Stephen Colbert or something, like hijacked that contest and had everybody who watches the Colbert Show vote a certain way, and like all the votes. And I think it was something like the Plowy McPlowface or something. That was the winner, and NASA's like, we're not doing that.
We're not doing it. Denied.
You can name like one of the pedals on one of the treadmills, but we're going to call the just exercise room NASA. That's going to be the title. So
they're really branching out.
They took all the fun out of the naming contest.
They did, but Minnesota does it right. And what's funny to me is I think some of the runner-up names that don't get chosen are even funnier. So some of the names that were short of making the 25 class include Catch My Drift.
Oh, that was a good one.
Hot to Snow, Chili Eilish, Salt Me Baby One More Time. Oh, Snow You Didn't. Little Plow in the Prairie.
Fast and Furious was the previous winner. You're killing me, Squalls. You're killing me, Squalls.
Nice. It's just they do it good up there. I like that. That's fun. Anytime you can get people involved with stuff and make light of, obviously winter is a bummer when you're talking plowing roads and travels and Bidet and whatnot, but that's fun.
Scoop, there it is.
Yeah, see, Lynn, I agree. Some of the runner-ups are better than the winners. I like those.
No more Mr. Ice Guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 2021 they had Plowy McPlowface was a winner.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So it's historically, I guess the name was already taken, but that's cool. I'm still reading all the different names. These are pretty good. I should probably share these with you because I find them quite humorous. But
we're all ears.
Google it yourselves. That is cool. Do you have any updates for us, Thomas? I know that we were coming to a deadline.
Oh, the half marathon.
Yes.
So I'm definitely going. Got
That
the
is
hotel, registered and everything, and I will be there ready to cheer on my neighbor as I stand on the sideline because I am not running.
Right choice.
I am not running.
We prevailed, chat. Thank you very much for all your recommendations. I think in order for us to have Thomas remain with us amongst the living, this was crucial that he make this decision. So unfortunately, he's just pushed it off. What, a couple of weeks? Is that it? To springtime?
Yeah. So I promised the neighbor. I promised her that I would still continue my training, but to be better prepared to run for the following one, where I don't care about the time, how long it takes me. I don't want to be last. I'll say that much. But I definitely don't want to injure myself or get hurt. And so I had the logic behind it, besides hurting myself of signing up for a half marathon and training in 2 weeks, is that her and I would probably run the first mile or two together as, running mates and fun. And then after that, she's going to continue her pace as I'm going to start to slow down. And I thought, well, this is kind of silly because I did this to help support you because you don't have a running pal. Well, I'm only going to be a good running pal for 1 to 2 miles. And then I'm left to struggle through this by myself also. So we're both just doing this on our own, but I could die. I'm not going to die, but I could really injure myself. I wouldn't enjoy it. I'd probably have to bow out at certain point to the race. And then the logistics, because the crowds and the people and the road closures and all that stuff of then getting rides back so we can all meet up and then, head home, because this race is 2 hours from home. So we're all headed down the night before to stay in a hotel. But so, yeah, I'm out. I hate to say it, but I have to be. The other caveat was I got some good running shoes that I loved and then found a bad pain point on the top of the foot.
So that would have been really bad.
Yeah, so I took them out or took them back, and I have a new pair now that I ran and day before yesterday, put a few miles on. Really like them. They're good, but they still need a break-in period. You can't just go 13 miles.
Need to adapt to the shape of the shoe, even if they're a good fit.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we'll still go and we'll still support. and cheer on. She's not pumped because I had every intention to giving it a go and trying to run with, but it also does no good for me if I pull a hamstring in mile 5 and I have to get carted off the track, and like that's no good. So, but the goal is I'm going to continue my training program, so that way she always does one early spring, and that way I'll be ready, and then ideally run that whole thing with her and healthy and not be injured. So
That's going to be awesome. We're cheering for you. We're in your corner.
appreciate it.
If you need help, you know, it's like finding a good route to run. I can help you with that. I'll Google it. Maybe come mark the path for you.
I thought you were saying like a stretcher.
No, like one lady did in Glasgow for some runners in a 10K in one of our other news stories.
Real peach of a lady.
So this story is a little too soon for Thomas, okay? Because this is actually it's actually dangerous. Quite honestly, it's dangerous what she did.
Very much so.
There were a bunch of runners who had signed up for a 10K in Scotland, right? Is it Scotland? I know it's Glasgow, but there's Glasgows all over the world. I just assumed it was Scotland because it seems like something a Scottish humor might find really funny. And I say that as a compliment, not as something.
I'm trying to see. It just all I'm seeing is Glasgow.
Yeah, it's in the UK in Glasgow, so it's got to be Scotland. So the runners line up for the race and they start running, and as they're running down the course, they see one of the race officials in a yellow, official jacket and the sign, and she's pointing the way, and they make the turn, and she diverted all the runners on a 2.5 kilometer detour. They added 25% to the length of the race as a practical joke. She had signs placed in the ground. The arrows run this way.
Dressed up as a marshal.
Yeah, like as an official. And everyone just, you wear the jacket. I know this because I have one of those jackets, right? I have one that says event staff on it, and I can basically wear it anywhere I go and be like, I'm gonna need to park over there. Like, yep, right this way. Like I get good parking. It works great. But you wear the jacket and people believe you and they trust you, and they do the problem. The problem with this, and where the seriousness came in, is that runners, if there was a medical emergency, they were 2.5 miles from where the medics were stationed in case there was an emergency, and that's the problem there. So they're not laughing about it very much. But 30 of the 115 participants on the event were sent on the detour, 1.5 mile detour.
Can you imagine?
Oh. It was well organized. This is like next level, but they've got all these pictures from the race, and I'm not sure if these are the ones who went the right way or the wrong way, but it's a crowd of people. I imagine they were pretty disappointed with their time for starters. Like, man, this race lasts forever. I swear I should be halfway done by now. Oh. And yeah.
Competitors affected by the mischievous interference have been offered 50% discount for the next event. So in order to be taken care of, you got to sign up and do it again and have trust that you're not going to get lost again.
And I think they should, at the last minute, change the attire and be like, only follow the directions from someone who's wearing like a rainbow lighted flashing suit that plays the following song or something. I don't know. They've got to do some sort of security measure just to make sure that the marshals are not confused with the pranksters. So
absolutely. That's pretty wild. Like you said, the biggest thing about that's really dangerous because all the support and everything they have around them is now far, far away compared to what they were used to. I think about me, if I were to go run my half marathon, if I got sent on a detour and
you'd never see again. Yeah. How would you find your way back?
Mrs. RA would be a full-time podcast co-host for the show.
No, it's scary. Not only the medic side, but the path the race runs is prepped. They make sure there's no dangers. There's no potholes. A blind corner and a pile of leaves over a pothole, and you could have somebody get seriously injured. But yeah, Aaron says you're going to end with that. We could end with something else.
We've got one more. We've got a couple more, but we'll end with one more. Before I jump into this real quick, Sinbad, I saw your comment I will look into that because I have no idea. It's through a made-to-order company, so I don't control it. So I need to find out. We've got a Weather Watch mug on the loose, and it's been a while. So I need to log in and see. No one orders any of my merchandise ever because I don't promote it or advertise it. So I never log in to see what's been out there. So
hurry and log in, because we shared it just I think just today we shared it on the live stream. You might have a couple orders.
Did you really?
Yeah. If you type !WW 2 times in chat, the first time it will say follow him on YouTube. The second time it will say, and here's where you can buy his merch.
Oh no.
So
I need to log in and see. I mean, if you go onto the website, it's ran by a third party. So if you go in and you order something and all that, they're supposed to handle everything. I don't sign off on it and push it, and it's just supposed to go through. But if you didn't get it, I need to figure out. It happened to my brother as well. He ordered his shirt from me, never got it. So
I got mine. It's great. I love it.
I think you're the only one that got the merchandise that's ever been ordered from. So.
There's been 2 shirts, the sample for you, and I got the other one.
Yeah, that's right.
Hands, if you order something from Weather Watch and it hasn't shown up, no. If you
Don't do that.
If you have ordered, raise your hand. Let us know. It works great for me ordering, and I love the shirt. It's one of my favorites. So.
Like I like the shirt as well, but the whole store needs a revamp. I mean, I think I have like running shorts and sports bras and whatever. I set it up.
I didn't order any sports bras.
You didn't do sports bra?
No.
My own wife didn't. My own wife didn't want the sports bra, so I knew I needed to take it off. But I need to change it up. But yeah, I'll log in and I'll fix that. But I'll do what I can to see. Adam said the local Goodwill's filled with Weather Watch merch. Even Goodwill didn't take it.
The supplier's like, you're gonna get a lot of these orders. It didn't happen.
We had another story, but I can't go on.
Do we need to order an RA sports bra? I don't even know where to sign up to get that made.
Shopify.
Shopify does it?
Yeah. Tumblers, sports bras, backpacks, shorts.
There you go. There's the link.
And they all come with mugs that don't show up, apparently. Sinbad, I'm so sorry. I'll look into some of this.
Does this link work? HTTPS www, or should there be a period right there?
Oh, so let's click it and see what happens.
Maybe this is why you haven't got any orders.
Nope, click right to it.
It worked.
I've got a hoodie, a rain jacket, a tumbler, shirts, mug, long sleeve. Oh, I did take the sports bras off.
Okay, sorry guys. No,
sorry for those.
I know that was the hot item that was going to fly off the shelf today, but it's no longer available.
Red Pen was asking. Oh,
hilarious. Oh man!
I'm afraid to click that link. It looks sus. It's not. I promise. It's some gear. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching tonight. It's always laughter is some of the best medicine, and I know it is for all of us with the trials and everything. I did watch this trial from start to finish with everyone, just wasn't always in chat. And, it was heavy, but Thursday nights are fun, and tomorrow is a new day.
Yes, and now we get to push the song again. There it is. Thank you.
I waited
too long. Tomorrow's a new day. It's Friday. At the end of the week. I know a lot of you are still buried under snow and ice or just freezing, so please stay warm, please stay safe, and the weekend is nearly upon us, so we'll hopefully have a little bit lighthearted stuff, and then of course we've got a new case coming, I think on Monday. I think we'll have a new one that'll keep us entertained and our minds engaged as we continue this travel through the world of true crime. So I don't have any plans for this weekend. I was going to work on the bathroom, but the shower pan thing was delivered with the forklift guy just destroyed it. So we've got another one coming. We're trying again. The same company. We're just going to roll the dice and see if this time they don't break it. And fingers crossed. But other than that, I still haven't created the one short video that I've been trying to make for a week. All right, you guys are amazing. Thomas, thank you very much. Thanks for putting all the hard work here. Everybody, have yourself a wonderful, wonderful night. Do something fun. Pour a nice cup of hot chocolate. Steven's hot chocolate, my personal favorite.
Homemade creamy tomato basil soup with grilled cheese for dinner here tonight, and I'm excited.
Can you make that in a smoker?
No, it's not going on the smoker. I'm not happy about it, but I'm going to make it anyways.
I bet you could figure out a way to make grilled cheese on a smoker. Somebody find a recipe and text Thomas.
I could smoke the tomatoes and then I could puree them and then put them in it. But yeah, no. Too cold today. I'm staying inside.
Sounds good. Guys, have a wonderful night. We'll see you.
Night, everybody.